Okay, our next topic is the afforestation. As you know, we are dealing with the ecology and the plant geography chapter, and under this particular chapter, we have to study the various methods of the global warming reversing phenomenon, because whatever the global warming is happening nowadays, this global warming is typically happening due to the anthropogenic activities like the deforestation. Okay, so actually on the mother earth there are some barren lands, there are some deforested lands, and when we try to convert the barren lands into the forested area, this particular process is called as the afforestation. So there are various advantages of these afforestation processes from the global warming point of view. So in this particular video lecture, we should understand that what do you mean by the afforestation? Okay, what are the necessary criteria for the afforestation? What is the basic difference between the afforestation and the deforestation or the reforestation? And what are the different advantages of this particular afforestation process? Okay, so consider this is your syllabus. We are dealing with the paper number 2 and the chapter number 5, that is ecology and the plant geography, and we are here at the afforestation. Okay, after that we have to study the deforestation as well as the social forestry. Now consider the first introductory point. See, it is the process of introducing the trees or tree seedlings to that area that has previously been barren. Okay, so any area which is previously a barren land, okay, and no earlier plant life is known from this particular area, then if you want to create the forest out of this, then this particular process is called as the afforestation. So one thing you should have clear in your mind that whenever we say afforestation, that literally means we are going to forest the barren area. Okay, it is not like the deforestation has occurred first and then we again trying to create the forest at that place. That will be the reforestation. But the afforestation is the process in which we are going to use the barren land area where there is a no earlier forest, and when we convert this particular barren area into the forest, this particular process of conversion is called as the afforestation. We can do this by planting the trees or by planting the seedlings. Okay, we can directly plant the tree species or we can sow the seeds so that they can germinate and create the forest at that particular place. Now this particular afforestation can be done through the planting the tree plantings or the seedlings naturally or artificially. Okay, we can artificially control that area or we can leave that area to naturally grow under the environmental influence. Okay, that is, it is both anthropogenic creation or it may got created naturally as well. Okay, so human intervention is there at the first place, and rest of the process can be done by the nature, but we can actually control the whole process of the afforestation as well. So it can be considered as a natural process or it can be considered as an artificial process as well. So basically here the afforestation literally means the conversion of the barren land where there is no earlier forest into the forested area, and this particular process is called afforestation, and for that we can use the tree plantings or the seedlings. Okay, now see, the reforestation can be considered as a form of afforestation. Okay, it is somewhat related to the afforestation itself, but there is a basic difference between the two. Now it is the alteration of the non-forested area into the forested area through planting the trees and the seedlings. So here also we are planting the tree or the seedlings, and in the process we are creating the forested area which is very similar with that of the forestation method. But the reforestation and the afforestation, although they looks very similar, there is one basic difference between two. Okay, why I'm saying that there is a similarities between the process, because in both the process we are going to create the non-forested area into the forested area. Okay, and in both the processes we are using the trees plantings or the seedlings. Now the basic difference between the two is that the reforestation is the restoration of an area that has been earlier deforested due to the any reason. Now basically if there is a first forest, okay, where the well grown forest was there, but due to the any reason, say for example due to the anthropogenic reason, this particular forest got deforested. Okay, deforestation has occurred, and now in this particular area where the deforestation has occurred, we want to grow the forest. Then in such a case that particular process will be called as a reforestation, because earlier there is a forested area, but due to the any reason it got deforested and now we want to reforest it, so we called it as a reforestation. But if the area right from the beginning is the barren area, and then we want to convert this barren area into the forested area, we call them as a afforestation. Okay, so this is the basic difference between the afforestation and the reforestation. That in the afforestation we use the barren land, and in the reforestation we use the deforested land. All right. Now consider, see the common afforestation material which we use for the afforestation purposes are the seeds or the seedlings or the cuttings. Okay, any of this type of the material can be used for the afforestation process. That is, we can use the seeds, we can use the seedlings, and we can use the cuttings. Now each material has its advantage and the disadvantage as well. Okay, because there are many seeds which are non-viable or dormant seeds. Okay, it is not sure that they 100% going to germinate. Now when we use the seedlings, they are susceptible for the diseases. Then when we use the cuttings, they also have some limitations. So every type of a material has its own advantage or its own disadvantage. Okay, it will all depend on the site. Okay, which type of site we want to create the forest out of the barren land. Depending upon that site, we should use the appropriate material. Okay, which type of the soil is there, which type of the temperature conditions are there, which type of the humidity is there. Okay, all these factors will be affecting that which primary material we are going to use in the process of afforestation. Now see, the selection of this suitable afforestation material should be fully consider the characteristic of the tree species. Okay, whatever the tree species are there, what are their characteristics, all things we have to consider, and only then we should select the appropriate seeds, seedlings, or the cuttings. Okay, because the age of the planting material, then the planting season, then the time and the methods all will affect its survival rate. Okay, what if we are using the planting trees, and what is the age of this planting tree, what is the season in which you are sowing this planting tree, what is the time. Okay, all of these methods will literally going to affect the survival rate of that particular specimen, whether it's going to create whether it's going to convert into tree or not. So basically you have to study the land area. Okay, you have to study the abiotic factors like soil. Okay, what is the season going on, that is the temperature, pressure, all those things. Okay, how much rain is there. Depending upon that, you should carefully select the material which is called as which can be the seeds, seedlings, or the cuttings. Okay, so all of the factors when considered collectively, it will help to select the appropriate material for the afforestation purposes. Okay, now the critical factor which will affect the success of any afforestation program is the healthy growth of the root system. Now see, once we plant the seed, or we can plant the plantlet. Okay, but still when there is a till there is a growth of the roots, it will not get converted into the whole new tree. So basically the rooting system, the formation of root system within the seedlings or within the planting trees, it is very very essential for the success of the afforestation program. Whether it is the seed or the seedlings, only the rooting or the rooting after transplanting can form the forest. Because if there is not a firm creation of the root system, then that plant will get failed. And once the plants get failed, the whole process of the afforestation will get failed. So carefully, once we select the seedlings or the tree for the planting, then we should consider them, we should take care of the rooting system. Once the rooting system is successfully established, it can get converted into the whole of the forested area, and then and only then there is a complete success in the afforestation program. Now the site preparation will promote and ensure that the root systems can be closely integrated with the soil. That is, whatever the site you want to afforest, that particular site should have some preparation first. Okay, we should make sure that the root system and the soil get perfectly combined with one another. That is, loosening of the soil will be required at a first place. We cannot go to the barren area and directly plant the seedlings or the planting trees. Then in such a case, there is a large chance of the failure of this program. To ensure that there will be the successful afforestation, first we should prepare the site for the successful creation of the root system. Once the successful creation of the root system occurs in the soil through the different methods, then and only then this particular afforestation program will get succeed. Okay, now the different methods which should be promote the root system and to absorb the enough water. Okay, so once the root system is established, very well created site is there, the root system is established there, and after the establishment of the root system, this particular root system will be able to absorb the water which is available at the ground level. Okay, so from the ground table, the water can be absorbed by these root systems, and the tree can be successfully established in that particular new environment. So the success of the afforestation will critically be dependent upon the formation of the root system within the plant body, and this root system can be assisted by the successful preparation methods for the soil. Okay, the root system can be closely integrated with the soil, and it can create the whole new forest. Okay, just because once we create this particular site, it will promote the root and soil combination, plus it will make sure that the water availability will be there. Okay, so this is how the root system will critically affect the afforestation program. Now, what are the different benefits of this particular afforestation program? You know, in the majority of the time in the UPSC means they will ask you about the advantages of the afforestation, okay, or the reforestation. So please carefully consider all of these afforestation benefits. Now, see, there are many reasons for restoring the area why afforestation and the reforestation. Generally, it is one of the best way for the biodiversity conservation. The very first advantage of the afforestation is that it maintains the biodiversity. For example, if there is a barren land and this barren land holds no animal and the plant life, now this will not be any use for the biodiversity point of view. But once it got converted into the forested area through the afforestation or the reforestation program, the many plant species can survive here in this particular environment. And if the plant species are there, animal species will also take shelter in these plant species. So there will be the flora, there will be the fauna. All of this flora and the fauna will create together a very healthy ecosystem. So in this way, the many plants and animals will find their coordinated living at one place, and hence it will really help in conserving the biodiversity. Whatever the biodiversity present on the Mother Earth, if we forest a maximum area of the Mother Earth, they will find shelter, and once they find shelter and the food through this forest, they can survive on the Mother Earth. So it's the best way of conserving the biodiversity. That is the afforestation program. Now, the conservational afforestation and the reforestation is done best in the interest of the ecosystem. As we have discussed, the healthy ecosystems can be created at the barren land. At the barren land, there will be no any ecosystem. But once it got converted into the forested area, it can create the whole new ecological habitat for many plants and animals. And once it creates the ecological habitat for the plants and animals, these particular ecosystems can get established. That is, the healthy ecosystem creation is there through the process of afforestation or the reforestation. So afforestation process is literally responsible for creating the healthy ecosystem. And once it creates the healthy ecosystem, the biodiversity conservation automatically occurred there. So the second advantage of the afforestation, that it creates the healthy ecosystem and it provides the healthy ecological habitat for many plants and animals. Okay. Now see, the third importance of the afforestation is the industrial or the commercial afforestation, and the reforestation is done to maintain the good input of the wood for pulp and the timber demand in a specific area. See, we can do the afforestation and we can select the species for the afforestation. So if we are doing the afforestation and in that particular area the particular timber species is able to grow, then we should plant all the timber trees there. Now once we plant the timber trees there, there will be the timber production every year. Okay, so as the tree grows there, it will form the tree trunk, and through this tree trunk we can obtain the timber. So these are the forest products which can be obtained through the forest, which are created out of the afforestation process. So whether it is the afforestation or the deforestation, we can commercially exploit this process. We can plant such a trees which will give us the forest product, and we can extract this forest product through this forest which are created through the afforestation process, and we can sell them into the market. And hence we are saying this is an commercial afforestation. So commercial afforestation process is there. We can carefully select the economically important plant species from the human point of view, and we can plant them at the very specific barren land, so that we can convert that barren land into the forest, and then this forest will provide us with the various kinds of the economic product, for example the timber. Okay, and that is why this particular process is called as the commercial afforestation and the reforestation. Okay, so it can also produce the many energy product. Okay, various kinds of the energy product can be extracted through the forest, which are created through the process of afforestation and the reforestation. Now this afforestation and the reforestation and other methods of the conservational forestry methods will often provide a good quality result in stopping the effect of climate change by reducing the atmospheric carbon. You know, if there are the maximum plants, these maximum plants can absorb the maximum amount of CO2 from the atmosphere in the process of photosynthesis. Once they absorb the maximum amount of CO2 through the process of photosynthesis for the creation of food, the amount of CO2 in the atmosphere will get reduced. Now once this CO2 get reduced in the atmosphere, the effect of global warming can be remain in a check. Okay, so the effect of global warming or the climate change can be reduced by the process of afforestation or the reforestation. Once you place the maximum trees in any barren area, in that particular area whatever the CO2 is present at a max quantity in that air, that can be absorbed literally by these plants and get converted into the food material, and in the process the amount of CO2 which is present in the atmosphere will get reduced. And due to this reduced CO2, there will be the reduction in the global warming or in the climate change. Okay. So once the carbon is absorbed from the atmosphere, it will really help to control the climate change or the global warming. Okay. And that is why this is the fourth advantage of the afforestation program. Now, the fifth application of the afforestation program is that it will prevent the soil erosion. As you know, the soil erosion is the process in which the water will take the water or the wind will take the fertile soil, the fertile topsoil with it, and it will transport to the another place. That is, if this particular site has a fertile upper layer and there are no trees in this particular area, then if the wind blows through a very high speed, or if there is a rainwater which is flowing through the very high speed, then this rainwater or the wind can take up this fertile soil with them and take them to the another place. Okay. So in this way, this particular area is got erosion. Okay. The soil erosion occurs here due to the absence of the trees. Okay. If the trees are present there, consider we have done the afforestation at this particular place, then what will happen? The wind effect will be reduced by the trees. Okay. Whatever the trees are there, these trees will literally reduce the effect of wind and also the effect of a running water. So in this way, the soil will remain at one place, and due to this, the soil erosion will be completely avoided. Now, this particular soil erosion is very common problem in the barren lands. If there are barren lands, there will be the high soil erosion. Okay. And you know, these barren lands can got converted into the forested lands through the process of afforestation or the reforestation. Now, this particular barren lands experience the strong wind that can carry the large particle of a soil, causing the soil erosion, right? And it also negatively affect the air quality as well, because if the soil particles are moving in the air quality will also get reduced, and due to this reduction in the air quality, there can be the many respiratory problems within the humans. Okay. And other animals as well. And this particular problem of the soil erosion, and through that the air pollution, can be avoided successfully, or it can be overcome by the afforestation programs, because we can perform the afforestation program here, so that there will be the many trees. Okay. So that these trees can avoid the speed wind, and it can also avoid the rainwater to carry the soil particle, and in this way the air will get purified, as well as the soil erosion will get reduced. Okay. So it can prevent the soil erosion. This is the fifth advantage of the afforestation program. Now consider the sixth one, that there is a better air quality. And you know the basic reason behind the air quality, because if there are the barren lands, the amount of CO2 will be higher within the environment. Okay. And amount of CO2 will be lowered. Then if we do the afforestation program and plant the maximum trees, these CO2 can be absorbed through the process of photosynthesis. And once the maximum amount of CO2 is absorbed by the plant, the amount of the CO2 to the O2 is healthy, maintained in the ecosystem. And once the amount of CO2 to the O2 ratio is maintained, the quality of air will automatically get improved. So tree play a very major role, important role in purifying the air through the process of photosynthesis. It can absorb the CO2, right? The people in the areas with the trees less are likely to suffer from the air related condition. Okay. This is the established fact. Whenever there is a barren lands, and on the barren lands, if some people are living there, they will definitely experience some of the condition relating with the air. Okay. So air pollution cause the very negative effect on their health. So the better quality of air can be created there also through the process of afforestation or the reforestation. We should convert this particular barren land into the forested area through the process of afforestation, and that is why it will improve the air quality, and hence the air related respiratory problems will not occur to the people which is living in the surrounding areas, right? These trees purify the carbon dioxide and offer the oxygen through the process of photosynthesis. So on the one hand, it is absorbing the harmful CO2, and on the other hand, it is giving the life giving oxygen to the nearby people. So that is why these trees are very, very important to plant in surrounding areas, or to convert the barren land into the forested area through the process of afforestation. Okay. So these are all the advantages of the afforestation. We have understood what is the literal definition of the afforestation, what are the different factors which are affecting the afforestation. Then we have discussed what is the difference between the afforestation and the deforestation. And after that, we have discussed what are the various advantages of the afforestation program. All right.